Now turn to the back pages of your typical Sunday supplement, and it's very hard to miss the full-page ads for the latest commemorative coins, especially minted souvenirs being sold as a memento for a big event like a royal birth or a wedding. Now, of course, people have been collecting coins for years because some historical or rare ones can actually be worth quite a lot of money. But as one collector I met has now come to realise, not all those shiny keepsakes necessarily have quite the value you might think. So if you've ever been tempted to buy one of these coins as a small investment, you could be in, I'm afraid, for some surprises. Collectible coins can be worth a fortune. Just one of these 1983 coins made with the words new pence instead of two pence can sell for anything between £500 and £700, depending on its condition. But not every coin you buy will make you a mint, even if that is what Paul Scallon hoped for when he started collecting.
I bought so many sets of various coins, thinking in the value they'd go up, but they wouldn't go down.
Paul is a retired building services manager from Southport, and he bought the coins as an investment opportunity that would benefit his grandchildren.
I first started collecting coins approximately 1998. I started with Prince William's coins and stamps, and I've still got them part of my collection.
Those coins, like lots of others in Paul's collection, were specially minted to celebrate a big national event. And although not legal tender, many of the people who buy them, Paul included by the way, hope that they'll increase in value as the years go by. Paul went on to purchase more coins month after month, some of them commemorative ones, but also rarer historical coins as well. He estimates he's spent a total of between £8,000 and £10,000, much of it with the official Royal Mint, which makes the cash that we use every day, but more than half of it with private companies, including one called the London Mint Office, which sells all kinds of collectible coins, including commemorative ones it makes itself. Once on the mailing lists, Paul was kept updated on all the latest releases.
Sometimes they'd ring and say, we've got this collection coming out, and you would then take on board what they were saying and purchase them.
Now, one of those that caught his eye was this George and the Dragon gold miniature coin, which he bought for £475 from the London Mint Office.
I was very happy with the coin. I just thought it's authentic, it's everything you can possibly think of. The script from London Mint said it was a good value, so I thought it would be a very good investment for my two grandchildren.
With this and his other coin investments, Paul believed he was sitting on a mini gold mine, and part of his collection did eventually earn him some money. He'd invested £3,000 in sovereign bullion coins from the London Mint Office, which are coins sold mainly for the value of the metal they're made from. And when in 2014 he sold these to a dealer, he made a tidy profit.
I made £1,000, and I thought, well, that's good.
But I'm afraid along with the good news came bad, because the same dealer revealed to Paul that not all the coins in his collection were actually worth investing in, and some weren't even worth what he'd paid for them, including that George and the Dragon miniature that he'd bought for £475 from the London Mint Office.
He said, but that one's just worth scrap value. And at the time, he weighed it for me, and it was £75 scrap value. He said, it's not a collector's item. It was a disaster to me.
Very confused as to how his coins could be worth so little, Paul sent a letter to the London Mint Office to ask why his investment had fallen in value in such a short period of time. The company didn't reply. But the explanation is simple. According to coin expert Jeff Thomason, he says that many commemorative coins won't increase in value and are only worth what somebody else is willing to pay, although there are, of course, exceptions to that.
If a coin is rare enough that everybody's chasing it and you've got it, you can command a price for it.
But not all commemorative coins are rare. Indeed, the ones made for big events are typically produced in quite substantial numbers.
They may be very pleasing to look at, but very often they're produced in such large quantities that they're never going to appreciate in value. And I know from experience that most coin dealers would not be interested in them.
All of which means that, although very nice to collect, most commemorative coins are worth no more than the value of the metal that they're made from.
In the case of a lot of these commemoratives, that's the only value. There's no antiquity, there's no rarity, there's no interesting varieties in it. It's simply an example of a commemorative coin, and there will be lots of them out there.
But after 20 years of building up his collection, Paul is now worried that it's not the investment he'd hoped for. So we asked auctioneer Charles Dower to come and take a look at some of Paul's coins, starting with that George and the Dragon piece that he'd been horrified to learn was worth only 75 quid. This particular coin, Paul paid £475 for.
It's solid 22 carat gold, the same sort of purity as a sovereign. It's smaller than a half sovereign, and we get £70 or £90 for a half sovereign at auction, so it's you know, it's slightly smaller than that, so it'd be even less than that, but yeah. So
you're purely looking at it as size and how much gold is in it?
If someone would be prepared to pay a bit more for it because they want this certain coin, or they need, you know, with a sovereign, if they want a particular year, then they'd pay a bit more, but that's certainly...
So putting you on the spot, what would you give Paul for today?
We would suggest an auction estimate of £70 to £90.
I've had it valued in Southport, £75 scrap value.
And the news was no better with the next coin Charles looked at.
This is commemorating the Diamond Wedding, 2007, and this one is a silver-proof crown, so it's exactly modelled on an old crown, and it would be worth as much as an old crown is nowadays for the silver content, really.
So that's pure silver?
Yes, that's pure silver, yes.
So again, if you were selling, can you put a price on that?
It's about sort of £10 or £15, really.
All?
That is all, yes. We see Victorian crowns and that sort of thing, and it's the same sort of price as that, really.
And poor Paul has just had a heart attack virtually at that. Does that shock you to realise that's only worth £10 or £15?
Yeah. That coin cost £100.
Did it really? Well, it seems that Paul has spent thousands of pounds on coins that may only be worth a few hundred. I should imagine a lot of people watching who do have coin collections are sitting aghast at the idea that what they put their money into, thinking is investment, having the authenticity, you know, having the certificate to go with it, and suddenly an expert like yourself will say, well, actually, it's just worth the gold or silver amount. So how do you feel about it now, having heard it from Charles as well?
Well, it's taken me back by surprise, to be frank, about the situation. It hasn't sank in yet how much money I'm going to lose for the boys.
It seems both the coins Charles valued are worth a lot less than Paul paid for them. So we asked the companies that sold them why that might be, starting with the London Mint Office, which sold him that George and the Dragon coin. It told us that its position on the value of commemorative coins is clear, and it creates products for people who share the same passion, either for the coins themselves or the person or event commemorated. It insists that its products are priced fairly according to design, quality, availability and demand. But it appreciates that Paul was very frustrated at not receiving a response to his query about the George and the Dragon coin, which he puts down to the letter being sent to the company's old address. So, while reiterating that this particular piece was never sold with any reference to its value, it has offered to buy it back from Paul for the same £475 that he paid for it. The company went on to say its experience with dealers is that, although knowledgeable, they're also running a business and therefore will naturally buy at the lowest price possible and then sell at a profit. It stressed it never recommends people buy coins as investments and doesn't market them as such. That's a point reiterated by the company Paul bought the other coin from, the Westminster Collection, which told us that its prices take into account much more than the bullion value of the coin, and the commemorative coins are pieces of art intricately designed by expert sculptors. Paul has this advice for anyone thinking of investing in this area.
Research before purchasing, not find out after the event, which is my fault. I found out after the event. But do your homework first.
Expert Jeff would agree with all of that. He'd say only buy a commemorative product because you like it, or you want to remember an historic event. But don't assume that in time, you'll be coining it in.
I think if you talk to any coin collector, they will say, I collect coins because I'm interested in them as coins. Their value as investment is secondary. I think unless you've got that attitude, then you're probably better off investing somewhere else.